second for the alternate meeting. If those who can, please stand. Lead the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. We have a roll call, please.
Alderman Smith.
Present.
Alderman Younger.
Present.
Alderman Keane.
Present.
Alderman Lancaster. Present. Alderman Swatosh.
Present.
Alderman Wilson.
Present.
Mayor Beard.
Present.
Thank you. We do have a quorum.
Excellent. That's very good. So, item 2 on the agenda is agenda amendments and the approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes?
modifications.
Somebody, yes?
Lancaster.
Yes.
Alderman Swatosh.
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good. Item number 3 is our consent agenda. If everybody has had a chance to review the minutes and the financial statements, I would ask for approval. If you've not, please take a moment right now to do so and indicate when you're ready.
If there are no questions, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you.
I'll second it. Yeah, first and a second. Alderman Smith.
Yes.
Alderman.
Yes.
Alderman Keane.
Yes.
Alderman Lancaster.
Yes.
Alderman Swatosh.
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, item number 4 is current outstanding invoices, draft and check paid invoices for March and April 2024. At the beginning of the meeting, these were handed out for your review. If you would, please take a moment to go through them and ask any questions you may have.
And if I may, if everyone will turn to the 3rd page, the 5th item down is Let's Van Kirk and Associates for $23,140. That is a separate item for us to discuss and vote on agenda item number 9. So pull that out of this packet. It'll be voted on separately.
And that's on page 2 of 205 of the expense approval report.
And I imagine this price for Justin is Lumex Electrical for 40,000. Is that right on par with what you were thinking where it needed to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's with the completion of the VFD for 94 lift station. That's the second part of that bill for the installation and upgrade.
Any other questions? So you are asking for us to remove that item from?
Yes.
Okay, so I would ask for approval of this expense report amended by the removal of that fifth item on page 205.
I make a motion that we approve the expense agenda minus the one.
I'll second that.
We do have a first and a second. Alderman Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Willard,
Yes.
Alderman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Lancaster,
Yes.
Alderman Swanton,
Yes.
Alderman Wilson. Yes. Thank you.
Moving right along, item number 5, citizen input. Anybody? Step up, state your name and address, and tell us what's on your mind. Seeing none, we will move on to item 6, reappointment of park board members for 3-year terms. Jason, would you care to walk us through it?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor, Board. We have a couple of members whose terms have expired and just need to see about getting them reappointed to the board. First candidate is Mr. Fred Burke. This will be his second reappointment, and he will enter his 7th through 9th years with the board. He is a great candidate for this position. He's got kids 8 years old through 2 years old. We're hoping to see them in the park system for a long time. Brooke Jarvis would be the second reappointment. This will be her first reappointment. She just finished out a vacancy that she just spent just under about 6 months in that position. Also good for the community, invested in parks. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the Jarvis family and how engaged they are in the community, and she's a great asset for the board as well.
Very good. Very good. Do you have any questions? Could we get a motion to approve these 2 people? You did notify them that they were up for, and they said that was okay.
They were all right with it.
Okay, all right.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Fred Burke and Brooke Jarvis to 3-year terms on the park board. Second.
We do have a first and a second. Alderman Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Willard,
Yes.
Alderman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Lancaster,
Yes.
Alderman Swanton,
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Item number 7, the appointment of Gary Walker Jr. to the Planning and Commission for a 4-year term. Mr. Roosh, would you care to?
Thank you, Board, Mayor. I believe, Mayor, it is your committee, but I will gladly explain this. So the Planning Commission is to add a couple new members, just for the couple of reasons. It takes a while to get into the swing of things with the Planning Commission, as some of you well know, and we want to get a couple of these people in, and the training started on that. And recently, the Planning Commission opted to go to twice a month, if needed. So they will be meeting on the 1st and the 3rd Tuesdays, directly in front of the Alderman's 2nd and 4th Mondays. So that greatly increases our efficiency in the process and cuts down time for projects to get through. So, seeing qualified applicants is really a bonus. So,
Very good.
thank you.
Any questions?
like to motion to appoint Gary Walker Jr. for your term at Planning and Zoning Commission.
We do have a first and a second. Alderman Smith?
Yes.
Alderman Willard?
Yes.
Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Randazzo?
Yes.
Alderman Swalcock? Alderman Wilson? Thank you.
Very good. Now, on to item number 8, special runoff election for mayor discussion. Would you care to walk us through that?
I'll bring everyone up if I can. Donna Slater has actually had a lot more communication with the county office. So we have set the runoff election, or the clerk's office set it for June 18th. The estimated cost is a little over $23,000. We presented that fact to both of the candidates, and Mr. Smith do a coin toss, but Mr. Snyder said he wanted to do the runoff election. And so if both candidates aren't in agreement on the coin toss, then the coin toss does not happen. So the process has begun in order to put those things together.
Very good.
Donna, do you have anything to add?
No, you pretty much.
Donna, do you know if there will, just since it's the one election, will they have 2 polling places again, or will
I
it
do not
simply be
know.
one
I wasn't
polling
aware they
location?
were gonna have 2 at the last election,
Okay.
so I don't know if they'll have 2.
I can't believe they won't. They'll have
Yeah, I'm
to.
sure.
Yeah, you have to go to 2 polls.
Okay.
So,
We've been assigned new polling places.
Someone told me that they were doing that in anticipation of a really big turnout for the November election.
No,
Yeah, since we were overwhelmed in 20.
we were over. All right. If there's no other comments, I'll move on to item number 9, the Mission Communications Legacy Upgrades Proposal.
Okay, do you want to take the helm with this and let
Absolutely.
them know all the things they need to know?
Well, so our mission system is actually our call-out alarm system for all of our wells, all of our lift stations. It's the brain of our entire system. Lets us know when everything is not going well and what specifically is not going well. This is something we rely on for everything. The company that makes this equipment, Missions, has decided that their old equipment is obsolete. So now they made one last run, a limited run of the boards for that equipment system. Everyone else has that. So if you didn't get your hands on a huge stockpile of those last boards, essentially you're out of luck. We have 2 left after our last well problem. So we have to go through the lesson. They are the licensed distributor. We can't even order direct from Missions. We have to go through Les Van Kirk to order all Missions equipment. That is their quote to upgrade our current system to the new model. If we don't have the call-out system, we don't know when we have low wells and we're burning up pumps. We don't know when we have pumps down and we have high flows or overflows. Is that everything we do is controlled by?
We stock a couple of boards for the current one,
Food stock.
and those would be traded in, right?
If we can, if they don't get used up before.
How fast are we using them up?
Depends. We went through 4 last time the well went down. Well, 1 went down with the electrical problem.
So
Almost impossible to
are we
guarantee.
resolving these electrical problems?
Yes. You just approved a couple of the invoices.
Yeah, I saw that, but
So within the packet that we approved was there was a $4,000 something, and that's the installation, the professional installation of these new boards,
The hardware.
and that will correct the problems that we're also having that are blowing out the old boards. Does that?
Part of it, yes. Mainly that's installation of the new equipment. Some of the mixed bills, those were going back to the wiring, finding out what was causing the influx of power that was frying these boards.
Are we gonna have to stock new boards?
We always have stock boards.
But the ones we got stocked won't work if we upgrade.
Not on the news.
So we're gonna have to buy new boards.
Yes.
How old is the system?
I think this installment of the mission system, probably somewhere close to 15 years. This system has been around longer than that, but I think we've had it for 15 years, perhaps.
So I would just asking this question, as we are looking at the rate study,
Mhm.
are we also looking at not dragging equipment out for 15 years to where this crisis moved?
That would be something that needs to be looked at. I mean, this is a situation where there was no warning, manufacturer just decided that they're discontinuing their model. That model had been tried and true, been around forever. No one saw it coming. And then suddenly they announced they have 700 boards in the entire country. So, you know, personally, updating equipment, you know, whether you do it or not, allotting for that, you know, kind of update with the way technology is advancing now, it's absolutely.
Do we know how old the new system is?
The new system is new, as in they're rolling it out in the last year, 2 years.
Well tested the new system is, if it's that new, and they're going to do bugs and, you know, like a new car that goes back to the shop every 6 weeks.
I understand. I don't actually have that information, I don't know, considering this is what missions
We're kind of over a barrel with this, unfortunately,
we are.
or over a well, I guess.
Yeah. We are in kind of a predicament with it, same as just about everyone else. I can't imagine them wanting, missions have been around for a very long time. This is solely what they do. I'm pretty sure they've got it figured out before they put anything out on the market. That's the best guarantee I'm willing to give, but I've done this for too long, that's.
All right.
So if you blow through 2 more boards before your 2 weeks are up, then we just like camp out in all the locations to see if everything runs?
Choice is, one, I start making an awful lot of phone calls. And the other one is basically, we're gonna have someone in checking and monitoring well levels. This even controls the height of our towers, when they shut on and off. So yeah, that means someone's pretty much around the clock. Everything's running like it's supposed to. When we found out about this, the well going down was a recent issue. The expense was gonna be enough. I really didn't want to throw more money on an obsolete system. Going as part of their engine, buying more boards for something that might not even be available in 3 months. So that's kind of where we're at, as I bring it to you guys.
So really, there's, other than trying to stockpile more of the old boards, there's no option here for the system we've got and spend
Correct.
a fairly large fortune on replacing.
Correct. And unfortunately, like I said, sometimes when you start having electrical problems, when you have wells that are 30 years old, 60 years old, you're combining those electronics with new component electronics. You know, you have these little electrical bugs that you have to chase and chase and chase. They can get awful expensive.
Any other questions? I would then I guess ask for approval of the proposal. We're not doing this, I guess it's not a contract, so.
Make a motion, we approve the quote. I mean,
Are you saying to
For the
approve?
expenditure to
expense,
Les
yes.
Van Kirk and Associates, $23,140.
up to and including, yeah.
First and second.
We combined.
Clarify. Or you were seconding? Yes. Alderman Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Willard.
Yes.
Alderman Keen,
Yes.
Alderman Lancaster, Alderman Spottosh,
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Basically, cost of an election.
There you go.
Almost.
Item number 10, inflow and infiltration section 710.095.
Nailed it. So, the inflow and infiltration ordinance, Public Works was doing this already. This is in accordance with our contract with Springfield. We are required to have a code and a program to back that up. So that's what is before you today is a revision of the original, of the proposed code. We got it back from Holly and had some issues with the Fourth Amendment, rights to search and seizure and different things like that, which we totally wanted to avoid. So we've redone the code, and it's up for discussion and not vote until it's back from legal, making sure that they hop on it and they approve the way it's written. Basically, instead of accessing the property, we'll use different means, smoke testing, cameras, dyes. We can still approach, but we're not there to jump into a crawl space. And then instead of times and penalties and fees and different things like that, they have a time to comply as directed by the code, and then their water connection will be terminated until they can prove to be in compliance. Those were really the only two changes. So, questions?
I would say I like this one than what we had in our packet a while back. But is there anything less invasive that like the city can work with? Because I'll tell you, this was probably about 5 years ago.
Sure.
We had the house that we purchased, the guttering was concreted into the ground and then run into drains that ran into the sewer drifts. We then received a letter after living in the house a few years, we received a letter from the city attorney telling us that we had X number of days to fix it, and if we didn't, we would be hit with a massive fine from the city.
Sure.
I mean, we spent Memorial Weekend cutting gutters, digging holes.
Yeah, no, I get it. And Justin can correct me if I'm wrong. It's not the city's intention to come to anybody saying, hey, you're in violation. If you don't get this fixed right now, we're going to fine you. Of course, we're going to try to work with the individual and everything like that through due process and a reasonable time, but if it's unreasonable, the city still has to move forward. So, but absolutely, I mean, we're not here to be a dictator. We're not here to be anything like that. We want to work with the public. We want them to realize that, hey, we recognize a problem and we recognize there's a solution. Let's come to an agreement and let's get it fixed. So, great question.
It does say may as opposed to shall.
which gives the option as long as it's consistently enforced. But you could have the respondent who says, no.
I mean, that was our thought at first because we had guttering really concreted in, and we were trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. We didn't want to.
Well, you come into compliance with the cut, right? So above the concrete, you cut and you
That's what
put
we
the
did.
rubber and it's out. Now, that still causes problems for your own foundation, but that gets you into compliance with feeding it into, you can't just cut, you can't leave it open. But yeah,
Cut and cap.
Yeah, that's what we did. We had to cut cap, but we had to dig up later and cap into the draining in other places. But it was a big thing. But that's why I'm asking if there's anything less than where like the city can assist the homeowners.
The problem with that is, where they're tapping and cutting is the homeowner's property. So the city has no jurisdiction going and helping anywhere because it is the homeowner's property.
and you're prevented from spending money on a private venture. So unless there was a fund that was created, and that would have to probably get funded outside. So, there's not a means and mechanism, it then also creates liability by being on the property doing things, so all of a sudden.
It has to be very clear with liability. So,
Yes, we'll work to be flexible.
So did we copy just off of Springfield's?
No, I made this up.
Did we look at Springfield's?
Yes. So,
and Springfield's a completely different creature as well. Their program is.
I do realize that.
they actually pay to have.
I mean, obviously they have a much different budget than what we have.
We're not currently in the same situation, that is true.
Very good. Any other questions? And you'll be bringing this back next meeting?
As soon as we get approval on it.
Right. Thank you, Mike. All right. Item number 11, new business. And I would ask the board if you have any agenda items for the next meeting that would qualify under new business. Not for discussion, but just to put it out there so we can put it on the agenda at the next meeting. Seeing none. Item number 12, unfinished business. Same question. Do you have anything we haven't resolved you want on that agenda? All right. Moving on, we're going to go into closed session here in a minute. So we need to recess open session.
I'll make a motion to recess open session. Pursuant to section, or to RSMO section 610.021, subsection 1 legal, and subsection 2 real estate, subsection 3 personnel, and subsection 13 personnel.
Sorry. We do have a first and a second. Alderman Smith. Alderman Villiers.
Yes.
Alderman Key. Alderman Lancaster.
Yes.
Alderman Sawtelle. Alderman Wilson.
Just so everybody is aware, the board will relocate. You're welcome to stay. We have no further business after we close the executive session.
But we will come back out.
But we will come back out.
I mean, well.
Yeah, you can.
So I can never do the logic.
Are you sure?